is under the community of practice theme, but I spoke at a session with Paul with Wenger, and I think I got pulled up slightly for kind of packing too much into the community of practice definition, because I think there's quite a bit more going on here. It's not a pure community of practice, which may come clear as I speak. But it is about trying to get a new model of technology transfer, knowledge transfer, probably more technology transfer. That's what I do. I'm the Director of Commercialisation for the University of Leeds. And so what I've been interested in trying to find is if there's a more efficient model for getting technology and expertise out of the university into business and community. We developed this kind of strapline, KT2.0, but the formal title of the project actually is Exploiting the Open Innovation Division of Labour Using Social Media. It's not quite as catchy. And this was a collaborative project with 3 universities. So not only is it slightly more complex, it's not really just an internal community of practice. It's very much about trying to externalise what we do with people who have very different skill sets and very different professions. But we've also tried to do that with a number of other universities. So we started off, we had collaboration with the University of Manchester and Sheffield also, potentially some other new collaborations coming on board. This is the kind of DNA that I sort of regard as going into the project. And obviously the Wenger thing is part of it, but there's very much more that's influenced our thinking in terms of this project. And I think probably 2 of the paradigms that really have influenced what we do is the sort of open innovation paradigm. The notion that you can, right? I'll probably speak a bit about this later in the session this afternoon. The notion that not all the smart people work for you. I suppose, in my view, communities of practice are about sharing tacit knowledge. Sometimes it's just about accessing expertise that other people have that you don't have, even when it's not a question of sharing knowledge. And the other paradigm is the sort of Professor Ron Burt social capital theory, the notion that the more connected you are to people, and to a diverse range of people, the more brighter you become. And the reason I like that is just simply because he's so rigorous in terms of the way he analyses how individuals and organisations perform better the more connected they are. So that's the kind of thinking behind it. So when I've presented this in the past, there's sort of 6, 7 principles that I elaborated on, but I'm only going to give you a flavour of the first one for this section, then move on to perhaps some lessons learned, some of the things that we think we might have learned from undertaking this. But the first proposition is that knowledge transfer or tech transfer used to be all about getting the best team you could, sending the best team. It's a complex game. You need people who understand legals, corporate legals, IP legals, you need corporate finance people, you need people who do business modelling, you need people who understand the technology that you're dealing with. And if you try and assemble a team of people that can do that, you're going to get a very big team. It's going to be a very expensive team. And most of them aren't going to be engaged in all the projects. So it's a kind of expensive one. So for us, KT2.0 is about assembling the right network. Now that may involve components of communities of practice, but it also involves creating marketplaces and various other sort of marketing tools and those sorts of things. All very much directed at trying to make it more effective in terms of commercialising our intellectual property and expertise. And since we've started doing that, I mean, it's become evident that it's very effective. I'm going to touch this afternoon on some of the outputs that we've had using this sort of approach. But this notion that you can't employ all the smart people is just genuinely true. And I'm troubled sometimes that some of the tech transfer organisations that we work with still think that they're all smart people, that there isn't anybody outside their boundaries that teach them what they could do. And for us, it's been quite an important lesson to learn sort of skill sets that we don't have internally and couldn't ever afford. And that's the important sort of secondary point. As we enter into a downturn in the economy or budget deficit reductions, universities are going to get hit fairly hard. So the fact that we've created a very small, light team that relies on engaging outsourced style external players has kind of put us in a kind of good position for withstanding some of that budgetary pressures. And then the third element of that, which I'm definitely going to elaborate on this this afternoon is the notion of how you motivate them. I'm going to come on to particularly one of the lessons learned later. I'll leave that for now. But one of the things we couldn't do with our team is, if we're trying to manage our costs, is to pay people in equity and royalties. It's kind of seen as a bit of a conflict of interest if I'm taking equity. But we can do that with people externally. So for a whole series of reasons, it's just been advantageous for us to create this outsourced virtual organisation of people engaging in technology transfer. People that have skill sets that we don't have, people that can stand down when we don't need them, people that have better connectivity to the marketplace. We do, because we're sat behind desks in the university most of the time, and people who will be incentivised economically on all sorts of different models that we can't play with in the university. So in order to coordinate that, we've created a site, the Leeds Innovation Network, and we built this on a platform called Sassoon, which probably most people haven't heard of. It's very much, as Paul described, a sort of a slightly more closed, professionalised version of Facebook. We didn't want to use any of those kind of tools. We brought this in. The real reason that we went for this particular tool is quite functionally rich, actually. I may go on it in a second if the link works, but it's got some very nice visual matching tag clouds of facilities, and you can do all sorts of things that Paul's talking about, in load videos and so on and so forth. And so we've been growing that platform. Part of the reason that we grew it is I don't know if people recognise, is anybody on this platform? Global Innovation Network. Does anybody do tech transfer? Right, okay. Tech transfer, by that I mean licensing, creating companies, using universities, intellectual property and expertise to try and create value. And this is very much around it. So it's not a surprise then if people aren't tech transfer professionals or knowledge transfer, if you're not on this. But there's about 4,000 people on this community, and this community was going already before we started what we were doing. And so it struck us that if we wanted to get something off the ground at Leeds, we might as well kind of join in with what was happening in the professional space already. Use the same platform, see whether we could link into it, and also help build. Originally, the Leeds Innovation Network was a sub-community on this particular site, and we migrated it over to our own platform version of that. Manchester have been playing as well. They have their own version of this. They pumped a lot more money into this, and they kind of refined it so that it does more of what they want to do. Our perspective has very much been about creating an internal community of practice where we can get people who are interested in enterprise knowledge transfer to work together within the university, but more importantly, to link into people externally, the army of individual entrepreneur consultants that we use to engage in particular projects. When we need a particular skill set, we bring them in and they work on that. At Manchester, they were much more interested in that internal community practice and setting technical business challenges that the academics could work on together. Leeds didn't get on board because the person we were working with there took voluntary settlement. So that angle didn't happen. We're hoping to work with York. I don't think anybody from York here. They're looking to deploy a similar platform, and we're hoping then to hook up with them. Because part of the intention is that if we're going through our Rolodex of people that we want to work with, there's a sort of pre-qualification stage. We need to know they're good. We need to know what they've done, their history. And if we can share data like that with other universities, it just takes some of the risk out of using externals. So that's part of it. We've also built into that, so the same guy at Manchester, Mark Thompson, was also behind the Knowledge Vine. Any users of Knowledge Vine here? Okay. Again, that's perhaps not surprising because it's a fairly tech transfer. He describes it as a sort of email equivalent of word of mouth. It's a growing international community where it's designed where you can pose one question. It can only be a question. Does somebody know somebody who has expertise in monoclonal antibodies in their application to whatever. So it's quite an effective tool. It's been picked up by the Technology Strategy Board, and they're rolling that out into their Connect platform. But I suppose what we wanted to do was to create this community of communities so that we didn't have our own island where we're trying to busily populate Leeds Innovation Network to the expense of all others. And I've seen some universities, I think, sort of 5, 8 years ago, people were mopping up hefty money and creating innovation communities. And look at Google, and every university had one. And it was almost competitive. Everybody was just trying to get as many corporates on board. And I think the big step forward in this, not quite stuck yet, but is that all of these communities don't see themselves as competitive. They're kind of working together as a sort of constellation of communities. And the more people in Mark's community at Manchester, the better it is for me. We can link, we've got a single login, so I can log into the Leeds Innovation Network, I can log into the Manchester Network, and I can log into the Global Innovation Network, all using the same login, so it makes it a little bit easier. So everybody's got their own community, they've got the keys to the back door, they can control it and use it for what they want, give it a slightly different flavour, but it all kind of links in, and there's no sort of competitive rush for members. And it strikes me that this is probably the way that things should move. People are aware, Diane touched on this morning, the sort of Wellies-Hauser report, where they're looking to save costs by just pulling a load of people together in one sort of physical office to do this sort of technology transfer activity. So overcome those very issues around not having all the skill sets that require reducing costs and so on and so forth. For me, it just isn't the right way to go. The notion of physically trying to co-locate everybody together in a network age when you don't have to do that, and you've still got the problems of scalability, you've still got to employ all the people with the right skill sets, just doesn't make sense to me. So, in fact, that's what we're doing. Does that kind of make sense to people? Because if there aren't many people doing tech transfer, then I just want to make sure that gets some nods from tech transfer people. That makes sense. So some of the lessons learned, kind of already touched on this. Don't compete, collaborate. Anybody who's trying to build a community and sees it as a competitive sport, I think it's going to go nowhere. These things will only build on the basis of sort of generosity. The more you participate in other people's communities and other people's discussions and dialogues, but use that as an opportunity to bring them back to yours, the better you'll build your community, I think. Build on existing networks. The reason the Global Innovation Network was so successful, it's now got about 4,000 people, was because we didn't just build it and hope they would come. It was built on the back of a couple of professional bodies that were already in existence. So the Association for University Research and Industry Links started using it as and is using it very actively now. It's one of their primary communication channels. And we supported all of their people in the community to start with. So we had about 1,000 people to sort of make a bit of a party mix of something that's happened. And then the Institute of Knowledge Transfer, which is Russ over in the corner there, behind his Mac, also came on board and started using it. So we had a couple of the key professional bodies using it, and that made life a lot easier. Otherwise, I seriously think that we wouldn't have got anything off the ground. And I think that's seen too many cases, in fact, been involved in building something in the early days, where that building no one mentality, you just concentrate on the functionality, concentrate on the tools, and they'll all come in behind you. Provide real content, really good content, and that obviously is continuing on what you're trying to do. For us, it's quite simple. For us, it's kind of a mixture of things. One of the key objectives is to advise and inform academics of where they can get little pots of money, proof of concept money, to help them move their ideas along. It's obviously, that sort of tacit knowledge, the sort of sharing of knowledge side of things is quite important. And I might try actually see if we can just show you some of the things that we've tried to deploy on the site. So this is Leeds Innovation Network kind of live, and we've been increasingly trying to use video content, little sort of 1.5 minute video. I don't think it's going to give you the sound of it. So these are sort of typically things that confuse academics around intellectual property, complicated space. And rather than we spend days in seminars trying to teach people about this, we try to use this as a way of bringing people up to speed on particular sort of frequently asked